Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. Today I'm going to be working on a carburetor that's in the 66 Mustang. It's a Summit brand, Holley style, 600 CFM vacuum secondary carburetor. I suspect it's got some crap in the circuits, because it'll be idling fine and then the engine will start to like chug, but then it runs fine after that. Driving it, you come to the next stop sign or light, seems okay, and then it starts chugging again. So I'm thinking there might be some crap getting sucked up into the passageways. So I'm gonna pull it off there. I already started. Took off the throttle linkage, and took the return spring off. Now I'm going to take the carburetor off the car, and we're going to open it up and see what we find. One of the ways you can determine if the miss is spark or spark plug related is to start it like first thing in the morning and only let it run for 2 or 3 seconds. Then you use the thermometers on the end of your fingertips and touch each one of the header pipes. And in this case, all 8 of mine were the same warm temperature after just running for a couple seconds. So I know that all 8 spark plugs are firing. And you don't want to let it run real long or you're going to burn your thermometers. So I'm going to set you up on tripod and get that carburetor off there. See, there's only 4 half-inch nuts holding it on here. Four washers, of course. No need to get the electric impact out to get these 4 off, because they're not super tight. Of course, that washer doesn't want to play nice. I'll get it. I got it. Okay, step around you guys here. Two points. I already pulled off the vacuum line going from the distributor to the carburetor. Pulled off the PCV line. I unplugged the electric choke. And I pulled the gas line off. So this should be all set to lift right out of here. See if I can do this without dumping too much gas. I got a rag here on the gas inlet. Okay, I got it. Let me put it on a workbench. All right, first thing we got to take off is right down inside here. There's a Cotter pin that holds the choke linkage onto the electric choke housing. So I got that yanked out of there. Set it back here where I can lose it. All right, you got to take that rod out of the choke assembly, and it doesn't feel like there's enough space to do that. Maybe it'll come out once you get the top of the carburetor off. So probably have to take this, can you even see me? No, sorry. Probably gonna have to take this stud out of here, air cleaner stud. I'll just use some vice grips on that. And if I leave the vice grips on the stud, that's going to act as a depth gauge when I put it back in there. Because on this car, I can't have this stud stick up too far out of the air cleaner, because it'll hit the hood, or the hood will hit it when you close the hood. Set that over there. Now we have 8 screws holding the top of the carburetor on. I've never had one of these apart. I did not buy a gasket kit, so I'm going to attempt to do this without wrecking the gasket. If you do tear it, it's probably not that big of a deal, because in this style carburetor, all the gas is in the carburetor housing. There is no gas other than splashes up where the gasket is. It's not like a regular Holley carburetor that has gaskets around the float bowls that tend to leak. So, get these 8 screws out of here. See what it's like inside. I sure hope I find some gunk in here, or even some debris. Like, the car had a metal fuel filter on it, one of those that you can't see through. I took that off and put a plastic one on that you can see through. And when I took the metal one off, I kind of pounded it on the bench with some paper towel, and some black stuff did come out. And it could be debris from the gas tank. It could be old rubber hose deteriorating and going up into the fuel filter. Could have been 100 other things, but it didn't matter. I just threw it away and put a plastic one on that I can see through. Ooh, that came off real easy. Alright, let me see if I can get this choke linkage out of here. If it doesn't come out easy, I'm going to have to loosen up the choke housing. And let me just do that. Take this off. Really, you don't have to take it off. Looks like I can just slide it out of the way enough to get that rod out of there. That one down here. That enough? Yep, that was enough. Okay. So here's the big reveal. What do we have inside? What's it hanging up on? Electric choke wire. All right. Looks like the floats are attached to the top part of the carb body. Now this carb does have sight glasses on the side that you can see the float level, and you can even adjust it when it's running like a Holley carb. The float levels were mid-glass before I took things apart, because I already looked at that. All this looks real clean in here. All right, let's take a peek down inside. See a little bit of stuff floating around there. Looks pretty clean in there. I'm going to pull these boosters out, because there's some orifices, tubes that go down into the body of the carburetor, and that's what sucks the gas up for idle circuits and things. Let me get a big flathead for that. Got a flathead. I don't know if this one's big enough. Yep, okay. And I hope I don't tear any more gas, or any gaskets, not anymore, any gaskets, because I don't have them. That came out real easy. Gasket intact. I see some brass, I don't know what you call those, jets maybe, in there. Everything, first look, seems okay, but I'll get carb cleaner and spray it through there. Check ball down inside there for the accelerator pump, and this is just a little weight that holds the check ball down. And boy, there's not much to this. Jets are real easy to get to. This thing came apart easy. Let me see how this one comes out. Well, looks like it's loose already. Little gasket on that screw. Looks good. Not split. Okay, this gasket looks like it's in good shape too. Emulsion tubes there. Huh. Somewhat disappointed, folks. I was hoping I'd find a bunch of crap in here. Well, maybe once I blow through these passageways with carb cleaner, it'll push out whatever was in there. Yeah, that stuff that's in the bottom moves around, so it's, you know, it's loose. It's not part of the, or glued to the bottom of the float chamber. Let me dump that gas out of there. Of course, if I dump it out, I'm going to lose this little weight, and there's a check ball in there. How about if I use my brain and get a magnet? This way I can catch that check ball. Maybe. Let's see, get something to dump it in. And if the ball falls in there, I should be able to find it. Here we go. Of course, the magnet grabbed everything else. Ah, there it is. Got the check ball. So, dump all the gas out of there. Very, very little debris in the bottom of the container here. Yeah. Of course, I didn't look in the container to see how clean it was to begin with. Got another, or one of my screws for the choke came out. I'm gonna set that in there so I don't lose it. I'm gonna pull these idle mixture screws out so I can squirt through those passages also. First, I want to see where they're set. So I'm going to go in until they're seated, and I'm going to count how far out they are so I can put them in the same spot. There's a half, 1, 1.5. Okay, that was about 1.5-ish. I'm going to be adjusting these anyways once I get the car running. But I want to start them out at the same spot, roughly. Come on out of there. Okay. And that is just a tapered screw, I guess you call it. But when you screw it in to see how many turns out it is, you don't want to force this thing in there because you'll wreck that taper. Plus you wreck the seat inside the carburetor. Just want to snug it and then count. Make them even. So let me count this side. See where it's at. There's a half, 1, 1.5. Well, see, this one is just shy of 1.5, and the one on that side was a touch over 1.5. So I'm going to set them both at 1.5. And then I can, like I said, I'll be adjusting these once I get it back on the car and running. Doesn't look like there's a lot to these carburetors. I know a lot of people like them for the simplicity and the fact that they don't leak when it's just sitting on the car. Like a Holley with the gaskets around the metering block and float bowls, they can dry up and start leaking on you. All right, let me get some paper towel here. Put a little spray thingy in here. I can see inside those jets. They look good. I mean, the car runs fantastic when you hammer on it. So I doubt that these main jets are plugged, but I'll squirt through them anyways here. It should come out up here someplace. Yep, right out of that top well. This one should be that other well over here. Yep. I didn't see any crap come out of there to this side, but that was the secondary side. This up here is the primary side where there should be a problem per se. Okay, second one. Spray inside this cavity. You can see this carburetor is pretty new looking. Doesn't have a lot of runtime on it. Bottom looks great too. Squirt inside where the jets, those idle mixture screws, not jets, idle mixture screws came out of. Okay, that comes out of this port here. Let's do this one. Do it both directions. Okay, now this thing, try to get it in the tip of that tube. Dang, everything seems clear. I'm going to spray it through all the holes that I can see. Hole back here. Inside there. Okay. Same thing on this other booster. This is the secondary side. A couple little holes up here. Holes here. None of them seem plugged at all. I think it's flowing real smooth. All right, I guess it's assembly time, you know. Not a lot to see here. I did get all that crud out of there, which wasn't much. Secondary side looks fine. Nice and clean in there. Got to put my little ball in. Wipe that off, make sure there's nothing on it. It drops right down in that screw hole. And I put the weight on there. That just kind of holds the ball down. The bottom of the well acts as like a one-way valve for the accelerator pump shot. All right, primary, metering rods, booster assembly. I'm kind of half making up these terms because I'm not sure. All right, I can see that these things here are the accelerator pump squirters. And they're both real clear. Gasket looks okay. I didn't wreck it. Put it back on there. Okay, drop this in place. One big screw. The screw's got holes in it. See, there's a hole in the bottom, and there's holes on the side. So the accelerator pump must shove the gas up through this screw and out those holes. Let me make sure they're clear. This should shoot out of both sides. Yep. Put that down in there. And there is a gasket under that screw. Tighten it till just before it snaps off. Okay, secondary does not have accelerator pump, so there's no little nozzles here. There's no check ball or weight in there either, just the gasket. So we'll stick that down in there. Screw. Get it just before it strips or snaps off. Clip. Done. This all looked good. I didn't have any flooding issues. It would have shown up in these sight glasses if it was, if the seats, needle and seats were sticking or something. But they weren't, because that level stayed at half glass. Alright, so I got to get this choke rod back in the hole of this assembly. Do this without needle nose. No. Get them. Grab that. Grab this. Okay, that's in. Snug the screw up, hold this in position. Alright, so now I'm going to get all 8 screws in. Now when you put things together, before you don't just put one screw in and tighten it. You get it. This goes with anything you take apart. Get all the screws in and start it by hand before you start tightening them. Because if you just put one in and tighten it and it's cocked a little bit, you're going to have trouble getting the other screws in. You strip something or just cause yourself aggravation. So let's put them all in by hand. There's only 8 of them, and they're already in. So, alright, so I'm just going to snug them first. Just for fun and to keep all the YouTube police happy, I'll do it in a crisscross sequence. Did you ever notice how there's a lot of what I call YouTube experts? They're, my opinion, kids that are in their parents' basement on a computer watching YouTubes. They watch a few YouTubes on a subject, let's just say this carburetor. And after they watch a few videos, now these YouTube viewers are experts. And they like to tell you everything you're doing wrong based on other videos that you've watched or they've watched. So to help appease those YouTube experts, I'm going to do these crisscross. They can still tell me what I'm doing wrong because I'm not going to pull out a torque wrench and do factory torque specs on these. I don't know what it is and it's not going to matter to me. I'm going to get them just before they strip or break off and I'll be happy. That's good. Good. I guess I'll go way over here and make you guys happy. There, come over here, here, all the way out here. back here. Now I'm just going to go around and check them all. Tight. Still tight. Tight. Whoops. Got my little bit. Tight. 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 And tight. So all 8 are tight on top. I just got some choke housing screws to tighten up. See what I did? I did something I just said not to do. I tightened one before I had them all in, and that one didn't want to go in. So I had to loosen that one so I can get this one started. This wire that's here is for the ground on the electric choke. Really doesn't matter what, I would say it doesn't matter what terminal to put it on, but in this case it does, because they got a female and a male clip on the electric choke, and this has got a male. So the ground is here. Well, in fact, it's even got positive and negative molded into there. Wow, fancy, fancy, fancy. Just a coil of wire. I don't see why it would matter what polarity it is, but I'm going to follow polarity. All right, they're tight. And this one, put the wire back on. The last thing I gotta do, see if I can get this, well, second to last. I gotta put the air cleaner stud in there. Well, third to last. Then I gotta put these idle mixture jets in there. So let me see if I can get this cotter pin in first. It's like a brass cotter pin. It's soft. I was able to just yank it out without collapsing the fingers on it. Speaking of fingers, if you guys been watching my YouTube videos on this red Mustang, you probably noticed when I started the car, I smashed my thumb somehow. Doesn't matter how. And that was down here. And it takes a couple months for your fingernail to grow and for that to go away. But that is my barometer, measuring stick, or whatever. See, by the time that gets to the top, I want this car sold. So it started out here when I smashed it somehow, and it's been slowly growing out, and the car is getting ready to go to a consignment shop, maybe even tomorrow, to be sold, and I want it to be sold before that fingernail grows out. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to lightly seat this screw. I'm going to get it to start easily first. I don't want to force it. It's really not that easy to get to. That's one thing they could have designed a little better on this carburetor. Edelbrocks have the mixture screws in the front. Holley's have them in the metering block in the side. This thing's got them sticking on an angle in the carb body. And that just doesn't feel like it wants to thread. I don't want to force it. Let's see if the threads are boogered up somehow or some way on there. No, they look good. Okay. How about if I got a smaller screwdriver? Got a little thinner body or blade on it. Why would that not want to thread in easy? Mystery, mystery, mystery. Let's try the other side. I didn't do anything to these threads. All I did was blow out the passageway with carb cleaner. See, this one went right in and started. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, come back out 1.5. Then I'm gonna probably turn the camera off and fight with that other screw. And I'll bring you back. All right, so that's seated. Now I'm not reefing on it, just twist it in there to mess that taper up. Just lightly seat it like that. Then I'm going to come out 1.5 turns. There's a half, 1, 1.5, leave it. So I'm going to turn you guys off, and then I'm going to put that one in off camera. I lied, I'm back. All I had to do was get it lined up properly. I had the anglage wrong. Now I got the right anglage on there, and it's going right in. So I'm going to lightly seat it, come out 1.5. Okay, lightly seated, that's it. So there's a half, 1, 1.5. Now I can screw in air cleaner stud, and my vice grips are going to act as the depth gauge for me right there. Okay, carb's done. Time to put it back on the car. Yep, I heard you guys, you're yelling, not so fast, you're not done yet. I didn't put this little cotter pin in. All right, let me see if I can do that. The problem is I got to put my head right where you guys are to see this. There's a hole in there, and that rod needs to go through the linkage and under this red plastic arm. And maybe I can get it in this direction. Yeah, I got her in there. Now reach in and spread the cotter pin open like that. So now the choke should work. Okay. So put her on the car. All right, simple to put on the car. I know this chrome bar is in your way, but it's not in my way. Checking the bottom of the carburetor, there's no debris on there. The gasket's clean, there's no grit, grime, or particles on there. Should get a good seal. Just drop this on the 4 studs, just like that. Got 4 washers, 4 nuts. Get them on. Okay. This really wasn't a rebuild video. It was just showing you, what I do, what I'm going through here. Carburetors are, this kind of carburetor is awful simple. I like it. Alright. It also has a adjustable vacuum secondary here. There's a screw in the side of it that you can adjust how fast or how slow the secondary open. I played with that a little bit on this car. Haven't played with it much. Didn't seem to make a lot of difference, in fact. Runs good. Runs real good when you hammer on it. Fighting with this one nut to get on here. Huh. I don't know why that is. Sometimes when a nut doesn't go on, turn the thing upside down, put it on, works. Must be a partially jacked up thread or something there. Now when you tighten these, you don't get super crazy tight. Just kind of snug them up there, because it's just all you're doing is holding the carburetor on. Carburetor's aluminum body, you don't want to crack it. So just kind of snug them up. I personally have never seen a carburetor come loose. Suppose it can happen. It hasn't happened to me, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. Where is it? Ah, it's over there. Okay, I was off. That's good. All right. So this side I have a return spring. Hook that from the carburetor to a bracket in the intake. Like that. Linkage rod snaps onto a ball on the carburetor. That. Go on this side, I have electric choke wire. Plugs on. I've got a PCV valve. Goes on the front of the carburetor. Small rubber hose goes to the vacuum diaphragm on the distributor. Last thing here is the gas line. Put that on. And then I tighten up a clamp, and this will be ready to start. Of course, there's no gas in the carburetor. It's going to take some cranking to get it there. But what I'll do is give it a blast of starting fluid. That'll get it running long enough for the fuel pump to pump gas up into the carburetor. And then I'll be able to start it, keep it running. Okay, gas line's tight. Distributor's hooked up, PCV hooked up. Those four nuts are snug. Throttle linkage on. Return spring on. Starting fluid. That's way too much. Hit the key. That was a success. It was idling good, and I put it in reverse, and it wasn't chugging like it was before. So I think there was something in one of those passageways that I cleared out. Okay, well, thank you for watching Dan's Messy Garage, and just keep watching my channel for other videos. I don't know when they will be or what they'll be on. You have yourself a nice day. Bye.